Hello again, Jesse here from the Financial Toolbox to answer this week's question. In fact, the question is, do you know what it will cost for your child's education? This question came to me really when I was meeting a bunch of people. We were over at the Ontario University Fair. In fact, this is the largest university fair in Ontario. It happens once a year for one weekend. And if you've got a child who's going to go to university in Ontario, you'll be attending this event. So this event just passed, and it was over at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. There was tens of thousands of people. Every university in Ontario represented. It was quite a informative information. And I remember hearing a lot of questions come through that people were asking about what the cost was for certain programs, what was the bursaries available, was there scholarships available, things like this. These are parents finding this out essentially the year before their child goes to university. So I thought to myself, answer this question for people out there to determine what the cost will be for their child's education beforehand. Now, it depends strongly on what program your child goes to. If they go for an arts program, it'll be a different level of cost than if they go for engineering. Or it's quite something when it comes down to different programs having a different cost. If you're not aware of it, you should familiarize yourself with this. So number one, determine the cost. Is it going to be a 4-year program? Is it going to be a 5-year program or beyond? You're going to have to factor in a variety of things: tuition, residence, textbooks, a number of costs to factor this in. But one of the best ways to prepare for this is through an RESP, a Registered Education Savings Plan. Now, there's certainly not enough time to go through all the details of these plans, but the general thing that you'll have to know is that these plans can be set up for any child with a social insurance number. You will have the option of getting up to one of 3 grants from the government. The more familiar grant that people are, that everyone gets, is a 20% Canada Education Savings Grant. This is the only time that you can get a guaranteed return on your money. If anyone else talks to you about guaranteed returns, don't believe them. This is the one place you can get it. And this is over where you put in the contributions, you'll get 20% back from the government. It gets reinvested into the child's plan. So essentially, it's free money. It's one of the best ways to income split with your child. Essentially, you put money in, you don't get a tax deduction for your contributions, but all the growth will then be taxed into your child's hands, which is fantastic because when they're university students, they're going to be at a 0 tax rate, or if they have less than $11,000 of income, or at least a very low tax rate. So you put it in, and all the growth will now be taxed preferred when it goes over to your child's hands. It's a beautiful way of income splitting. I suggest you take advantage of it. But then when you have your figure, you have to backtrack on how much it's going to be for that education. You have to start saving early, or investing early, as I would say. You have to choose the proper suitability of the plan. Watch out, because some plans don't let you choose what type of investments you could have. You're defaulted into a bond portfolio, which isn't really, in my opinion, a smart way of looking at things when we're at generational low interest rates. It's not a very good level of return, especially when you've got 10, 15 years in the plan for it to grow. So you'll have to factor in the rate of return that's suitable for you. You'll have to factor in how much money you could contribute. Don't delay contributing for too long, because there's only a certain amount of time that you can play catch up if you haven't caught up before. So there's a number of factors here, but it will begin with what the cost will be. I can't answer everything in the video right now, but I hope the things that I discussed will open up your thoughts. If you have further questions, something specific for yourself, please feel free to send me an email. I'd be happy to help uncover this more specific figures for you. If you have other questions, please send them along. I love answering the questions. And like the video, share the video, and write your comments below. It's always a pleasure. Jesse from the Financial Toolbox, signing off.